All right, so what do I watch today? I could watch some. This one has been on my watch list for a long time, but I don't think today is the day for that. This has also been on my watch list for quite some time, but I really feel like I need to be in the right headspace for this, so you know what? Ah, I know. I'm gonna watch Peak, finally. Yes. Finally, Peak. Finally, I'm watching Peak. I have a problem, right? Whenever I sit down to watch anime, I always tell myself that I'm finally gonna watch that loved and highly acclaimed anime, right? The Steins Gates, the Monsters, the Friorens, right? Death Note. But whenever I actually sit down to watch anime, I never find myself hitting play on these anime. See, when I sit down to press play on one of these anime, I find myself feeling like it's not time. I feel like with these anime, I have to really give them my full attention, and I never feel ready for that. So instead of watching these loved and highly acclaimed anime, like again a Death Note for example, I end up sitting down and watching some random trashy isekai, or sitting down and watching Hidan no Arya for the, I don't know, umpteenth time at this point. And again, I don't do that because I think that Death Note, for example, is going to be bad. No, it's the opposite, really. I expect them to be really good, but I also expect to need to pay full attention and really experience these anime as I see them. And experience is a great word for these anime. They're not just anime, they're experiences. They're deep and complex, and they have layers upon layers of storytelling. A lot of them have huge world building elements, major character development throughout the story, and a lot of them have meaning that people have sometimes analyzed for years. And you see, that's the problem. I feel like when I sit down to watch one of these anime, I can't just watch casually. I really need to sit down and truly lock in and really pay attention to get the full experience of these shows. If I am going to start one of these anime, I need to be ready. But I never feel ready. Every time that I sit down to watch anime, I tell myself, this is the time. This is the time that I will finally watch Monster. I'll finally watch Frieren, Death Note, Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, whatever it is, I tell myself I'm finally gonna sit down and watch this anime. But when the time comes to watch, I never watch them. Instead, I find myself sitting down watching the next show with an overpowered protagonist that really doesn't go through any danger whatsoever because he's so powerful, and nobody around him is in any real danger because he's so powerful. And the enemy, the main enemy, is apparently super powerful and everybody's super afraid, but the protagonist is so powerful that he has no real issue with them whatsoever. Maybe a fake struggle here and there, but at the end of the day, they never go through anything meaningful. They never truly go through anything. There's no high stakes, right? There's no high stakes to those anime. And also, there's somehow a loser at the same time, but every girl falls in love with them. It doesn't make sense. That'll be a video in the future, but that's not for now. And look, when I sit down to watch something like Hidan no Arya, I don't sit down to watch because they're amazing, right? They're easy to watch. And look, I also don't want to sit here and say that anime like Hidan no Arya are bad. I'm not saying that they're bad by any means. If they were bad, I wouldn't rewatch them. They're solid, even good anime. Hidan no Arya, Knights and Magic, Saijaku Mahai no Bahamut, something like that, right? Those are anime. Well, that last one is probably kind of trash. But the other ones aren't bad. They're not great. They're just solid. And they're easy to watch, right? I don't have to pay full attention. I can scroll through Instagram Reels while I watch if I want, especially if I've already watched it before and I'm rewatching it again. At that point, I'm more so watching it just for the key moments and as background noise in between, right? There's no 500 IQ plot twists. There's nothing like that. No, I can just turn my stupid smooth brain off and I can just enjoy the fun of the anime. Maybe one day I'll finally sit down and watch Peak. And you know, sometimes I've almost watched Peak. At one point, I actually sat down and pressed play on Steins Gate and watched the first 10 minutes of it. But guess what? I clicked out and I moved on to something else. And again, maybe one day I'll finally have my mind blown by one of these incredible anime. Maybe one day I'll finally finish the second half of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Yeah, I've seen the first half of it and I just never went back. I never went back to it. But for now, let's go see what new isekai dropped this season. So am I the only one stuck in this cycle, this endless loop of watching mid and avoiding peak? Let me know in the comments down below, and hey, maybe one day I will finally sit down and watch Cowboy Bebop. But don't hold your breath. If I do, I'll probably do a review of it, but that probably won't ever happen, so don't count on it, alright? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I am going to do my best to stick to the schedule that I promised in the last video, where I, try and post every Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Saturday.
蹴りつけようぜ。先輩、俺のファンなんだろ。食わず嫌いしないでさ、読まなきゃもったいないよ。だって今度の新作は泉正宗の